what's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with my YouTube channel, of course, you look at the title. It's called NYC Diaries, and it's basically about my life with my children and how do I go day by day, just being a father in NYC, New York. But today we're gonna do things a little differently. Today, I'm gonna speak on a very sensitive subject, and the reason why I'm gonna speak on it is because it really affects me deeply. And aside from the pandemic that we're all going through right now, that is just so confusing, period. We're also going through a crisis of movement that's been going on for hundreds of years. And I've seen no change. Reading in the history books, I've seen no change. And I really do feel strongly about Black lives. My background, I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic, and I consider myself Afro-Latino. I have a lot of Black people in my family. I come from a Black background, so I've dealt with racism literally all my life, since as far as I can remember. And I wasn't gonna do a video this way, but I couldn't help myself, and my family did push me. They said, you know, you might as well just make a video. So here I am, and I'm not gonna speak about politics. I'm just gonna state my opinion and how I feel about what's really going on today. So first of all, what we need to consider as a people together, that we can't solve things with anger. And what makes us angry is our past experiences, right? Anger is an emotion that we can't get rid of. It is a good emotion. We have to be very careful how we use that emotion. We have to be very smart about that. We have to educate ourselves when it comes to moving forward. And that is the reason why we're still in this movement. Nothing has happened. If you read in the history books, we are actually doing the same exact thing that we were doing decades ago. Nothing has really changed. It's just masked itself. It looks different. And it's just, I've been looking at all the news, and I'm pretty sick of watching the news, but I can't help but watch it. And the things that are said about this movement, the negative things that are said about this movement. This movement needs to be taken very seriously. And when I say about serious, is that we need to consider all the factors and look at the bigger picture. We're not doing this because we hate the other side. There should be no other side. This movement has all to do with being treated like equals. As I was growing up, I knew nothing about, how can I say, being privileged. Privilege was not in my vocabulary at all. I was always looked down upon. And of course that messes with your thinking process. And it makes you a racist as well. As I get older, I try not to let that shape my mind too much. I don't want to be angry to the point where I'm looking at the other side and kind of going tit for tat. That's not something that I want to do at all. My main focus is to educate myself properly, and if I'm going to stand for something, I'll make sure that I stand for something that can actually progress us as human beings, as Black people, as Hispanics, as minorities. But of course, like I told you before, I can only state from my experience. So it's kind of hard for me to speak on this, but I'll definitely try my best. Like my wife says, I do ramble on a lot, so I'm not really going to mention any politics. I really don't want to speak about politics. That's not something that I want to do. I don't think that's important. But what is important is remembering everything that's happened in history. Never forgetting. never forgetting what happened recently, since it's still in everybody's mind. A young man called George Floyd. Very sad story. He's a human being. Every time I hear a story like that, not because of the color of somebody's skin, you know, it really does affect me dearly in my heart. It's not something that I want to hear, but it's something that I need to hear. I need to look at the bigger picture. We need to look at the bigger picture as people. It's not about all lives matter. Right now, it's about Black Lives Matter. And the reason why is because it cannot be ignored anymore. We are all human beings, but we're not all treated like human beings. And that's why Black Lives Matter. We need to keep that in mind. Not all lives matter. Yes, obviously all lives do matter, but right now this movement is specifically called Black Lives Matter. Let's not escape that the main focus. So originally I'm from Brooklyn, and if I haven't mentioned in the video yet, you know, I did say I'm Hispanic. I'm originally I'm Puerto Rican, more New Yorican because I was born here. My parents are from Puerto Rico, and as I can remember, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, and that's basically what I was exposed to constantly. The school that I grew up in really shaped and molded my thinking. And the school that I grew up, I'm not going to mention the school, but the school that I grew up in did promote Black lives, Hispanic lives. I grew up kind of well-rounded. There was no segregation. We were all treated like equals, no matter the color of your skin or anything like that. And that's the way I was raised. But when I was kind of outside of that world and I was exposed to other parts of New York, you know, I did clash with racism in it, and it did surprise me. It surprised me, not that I didn't know of it. I did know of it because my mentors did tell me about it, but you don't really know until you experience it. When someone verbally tells you to either go back to your country or kind of scorns you with their looks for no apparent reason, and you're just not understanding, like, you know, you feel like you did something wrong, but you obviously you did nothing wrong. And it was really hard to swallow. So considering that that was my upbringing, I didn't really look at anybody with, how can I say, like, I didn't have hate in my heart. When I was a teenager, I did go through a lot of really bad experiences with Caucasian people. I don't know how to say it. Treating me really badly, really poorly. And as a teenager, you don't know how to react to those things. And that hatred that I never had in my heart, all of a sudden, just it appeared. I didn't know what to do with it, and I found myself cornered. And you know, I'm embarrassed to say that, you know, I did feel a type of way. As an adult, I don't feel that type of way anymore. Why? Because I chose to educate myself. Because I said it can't be right to go tit for tat with people. That never works out. You need to understand that in order to move forward, in order to grow, in order to mature, in order to gain respect from others, you cannot fight fire with fire. It never works. But it's gonna happen. Why? Because our hearts, we feel. And it hurts us. And when people hurt you, you want to hurt back. It's a normal reaction. But as an adult, as a person who matures, you know then that that's not the right way at all. So my main aim at this video is to let everyone know, open your eyes, look at the bigger picture. Why are we going through this right now? Why have we've been going through this for so many years? Why hasn't anything changed? Why? Because you haven't changed. We haven't changed as a society. We need to start moving moving forward, but the right way. No one's better than anybody. We are all unique. We are all unique, and that's what's beautiful. That's what makes us beautiful as people. We are all unique. We're different. We have different cultures. We have different customs. We look different. That's amazing. That's the way we need to look at stuff. Not that we're better than anyone, because I'm not better than anybody. I'm definitely not better than anybody. I look at other people as an opportunity to learn something new, point blank. And if we look at each other that way, you'll see. I can't guarantee anything, but you'll see that it will be an improvement, not only in yourself as a human being, but as a society. And that's the news that we need to spread. That's the word that we need to spread. So please, people, if you care enough, if you care about yourself, if you care about your fellow neighbor, please share this, because Black lives do matter.